When you awaken one day and realize that the life you've been living no longer fits the vision you hold deep inside, that feeling is not confusion, it's a calling. A calling to evolve, a calling to rise, a calling to expand. You are not here to shrink into a version of yourself that fits into someone else's comfort zone. You are here to expand your aura, to stretch your presence, elevate your energy, and radiate a light so powerful it shifts the atmosphere when you enter a room. There is a reason your spirit feels restless. There is a reason the ordinary no longer excites you. You're not meant for average. You are being invited into your next dimension. The aura expansion mentor within you is ready to emerge. That part of you that no longer seeks permission to be seen. That inner fire that doesn't wait for the right time to ignite, because it knows that now is the time. Expansion does not come from external validation. It begins with inner alignment. It begins when you stop negotiating your worth and start embodying your greatness. Every step you take from this point forward is not just about success, it's about energetic transformation. Your aura becoming a beacon of purpose, of healing, of undeniable power.
Your aura reflects your inner energy, not your words radiate what you want to attract. This truth is foundational to everything you wish to become. In a world where many speak loudly but few resonate deeply, your energy becomes the truest language you speak. It is silent but powerful, invisible but undeniable. Before you enter a room, before you make a decision, before you even speak a word, your aura has already communicated something. People may not consciously understand what they feel around you, but they respond to your energy. They're influenced by the frequency you carry, and that frequency is shaped by your thoughts, emotions, integrity, self-belief, and alignment.
When you are stuck in cycles of fear, doubt, insecurity, or resentment, your aura contracts. It becomes clouded and static. You may still speak words of confidence, set goals, or even pretend things are okay, but if your internal state contradicts your external presentation, the disconnect is felt. That's why sometimes you can say all the right things and still not receive the results you expect. It's not about what you say, it's about what you radiate. Your vibration is either attracting or repelling your desires at all times, even when you're unaware of it. The law of resonance teaches that like attracts like, but this goes deeper than just positive thinking. You can't fake frequency. You must become what you seek. If you want to attract love, you must radiate love. If you want opportunities, you must emit the frequency of worthiness and readiness. If you want clarity, your aura must reflect stillness and openness. You are constantly communicating with the universe through your energy field, and it mirrors back not your words, but your essence. This is why healing your internal world is non-negotiable. You can't elevate your life without elevating your energy. You can't step into abundance while holding on to scarcity mindsets. You can't expect trust from others when your aura is wired with self-doubt. Energy doesn't lie. The universe is always reading your vibration, and the moment you align your inner world with your highest truth, the outer world begins to reflect that harmony. Life flows, connections deepen, opportunities multiply, not because you forced them, but because your aura called them in. Everything begins with self-awareness. When you take the time to observe your thoughts, feel your emotions, and clear the energetic clutter that dims your light, you expand your aura naturally. You become a clearer channel for divine flow. You begin to radiate authenticity, peace, confidence, and compassion. And as you do, others will feel safe around you. They will feel drawn to your energy without knowing why. You'll become magnetic not because you tried to impress anyone, but because you've come home to yourself. This is the path of energetic mastery. To know that your greatest asset is not your resume, your appearance, or your achievements, but your frequency. To understand that you are already broadcasting a signal into the field of infinite potential, and you can choose to upgrade that signal at any time. The more you radiate from a place of truth, the more you attract people and experiences that are aligned with your soul. So if life isn't responding the way you desire, ask yourself, what am I radiating? What am I projecting into the world with my energy? What belief am I embodying? And then, instead of chasing, begin to shift. Not by pushing harder, but by becoming lighter. Not by pretending to be confident, but by remembering your worth. When you truly embrace this principle, you realize the power was never outside of you. You were the magnet all along. Expansion requires shedding old versions of yourself. Discomfort is the path to evolution. This truth is often the hardest to accept because it asks you to let go of everything that once made you feel safe, even when that safety came from limitation. Growth doesn't happen inside your comfort zone. It happens when you begin to challenge the familiar, when you begin to ask if the identity you've been clinging to still fits the future you're trying to create. Every transformation begins with a choice to release what no longer serves you, and that process is rarely smooth or easy, but it is sacred. The most powerful version of you is buried underneath layers of conditioning, fear, past experiences, and stories that were never truly yours. These old versions were built to protect you during seasons of survival, and while they once served a purpose, they can't take you where you're going next. Shedding isn't about rejecting who you were, it's about honoring that version while recognizing it's time to evolve. It's about saying thank you to the roles you played, the identities you wore, the environments you tolerated, and the beliefs you lived by, and then letting them go with grace. Discomfort is the sign that you are stretching into new energetic territory. It's your soul recalibrating to a higher frequency. When you start stepping into your truth, it shakes the foundation of everything built on fear. People might pull away, doubt might rise up, old habits might scream for your attention. This is all part of the release. You are not falling apart, you are shedding. You are not broken, you are breaking through. You are not becoming someone new, you are returning to your essence. Shedding is an emotional process. It might look like grief, it might look like silence, it might feel like loneliness or confusion. That's normal. The world you knew no longer fits, but the world you're walking into hasn't fully arrived yet. This in-between space is where real growth occurs. It's where your aura begins to expand. It's where you face yourself, not to criticize, but to awaken, to remember, to choose again. Letting go of the past version of yourself also means releasing the attachments you had to outcomes, timelines, and control. You start trusting the unfolding even when it doesn't make sense. You stop chasing approval and start seeking alignment. And when you do, your energy starts to shift. You become lighter, clearer, more magnetic. Life starts responding to your new vibration. You stop attracting based on wounds and start attracting based on wholeness. It's important to know that shedding is not a one-time event, it's a lifelong journey. You will evolve again and again. Each level of your life will demand a new version of you. And every time you choose to release what no longer fits, you make space for more light, more purpose, and more power. You become a vessel for expansion, not by adding more, but by releasing what is false. So if you find yourself in a season of loss, change, or discomfort, don't resist it. Lean in, ask what part of you is ready to be released, trust that the discomfort is not a sign to turn back, it's proof that you're moving forward. It means your old life is no longer strong enough to contain your future. That is not something to fear, that is something to celebrate, because the more you shed, the more you shine, the more you release, the more you rise, and the more you evolve, the more your aura expands to reflect the truth of who you've always been. You become magnetic when you stop performing and start embodying authenticity. This is the core truth that separates temporary success from lasting transformation. Many people spend their lives performing, acting out versions of themselves that they believe will be accepted, loved, or praised. They wear masks, they say what others want to hear, they follow trends, mimic voices, and try to fit into roles that feel safe. But this performance comes at a cost. Over time, it creates internal exhaustion, misalignment, and disconnection. The world may applaud the image, but your soul begins to starve. Because deep down, you know that who you're pretending to be is not who you truly are. Authenticity, on the other hand, is magnetic. It requires courage. It requires truth. It requires you to stop living for validation and start living in alignment. When you embody authenticity, your aura shifts. Your energy becomes grounded and powerful. You're no longer trying to control how others see you. You're focused on honoring who you are. And that self-honoring frequency is irresistible. People may not understand why they're drawn to you, but they'll feel something real. They'll sense a depth, a presence, and a certainty that can't be faked. That's magnetism. There's something powerful about someone who knows who they are and isn't afraid to be it. Not in arrogance, but in alignment. Not in ego, but in essence. When you drop the performance, you stop seeking from the outside what you already carry within. You stop begging for approval because you've already approved of yourself. You stop chasing trends because you've tapped into your timeless truth. Your voice becomes more resonant. Your decisions become more empowered. And your path becomes more clear, not because everything outside changes, but because your inner compass is finally being honored. This shift doesn't mean you'll never face judgment or resistance. In fact, when you stop performing, some people may pull away. They may no longer recognize the version of you that refuses to dim. But this is not rejection, it's refinement. The ones who are meant for your energy will rise to meet it. The ones who aren't will fall away. Let them. Because authenticity filters your environment for you. It creates space for genuine connection, aligned opportunities, and meaningful growth. It also frees you from the constant anxiety of getting it right, because you're no longer managing a persona, you're just being you. Embodying authenticity also impacts your self-worth. When your actions align with your truth, you start trusting yourself more. You stop second-guessing. You stop people-pleasing. You begin to feel peace even in uncertainty because you know you're not betraying your inner voice. And that peace becomes a part of your aura. It radiates, it empowers, it speaks on your behalf in ways words never could. The world doesn't need more performers. It needs more people willing to be real, to speak with sincerity, to live with integrity, to stand in their values even when it's inconvenient. That is where true power comes from. That is where influence begins, not with how loud you are, but with how aligned you are. When you walk in authenticity, you become a mirror for others to do the same. Your presence gives people permission to drop their masks too. So if you're tired of striving, trying, or pretending, this is your invitation to come home to yourself. Let go of who you think you should be and embrace who you already are. The moment you do, you'll notice that you don't have to chase anything. What's aligned will find you. What's real will stay, and your aura, unburdened and unapologetic, will become the most powerful force you carry. Not because you're perfect, but because you're true. And there is nothing more magnetic than someone who lives in their truth. Energetic leadership is the new paradigm. Raise your vibration to uplift others. In today's world, leadership is no longer about control, status, or authority. It's about energy. People don't follow titles. They follow presence. They follow alignment. They follow the silent power of someone who knows who they are and leads from a place of inner truth. Energetic leadership is about being the kind of person whose energy speaks louder than their words, whose integrity is felt without explanation, and whose example becomes a light for others to follow. When you raise your own vibration, you do more than just elevate your own life. You elevate everyone who enters your energetic field. This kind of leadership begins with self-responsibility. It's not about fixing others, preaching to others, or saving others. It's about doing the deep inner work to embody the frequency of the life and impact you wish to create. The world is full of noise, but very few are anchored in their truth. When you choose to heal, to align, and to grow with intention, you become a stabilizing force in a chaotic world. People gravitate toward that. Not because you're trying to lead them, but because your energy becomes a safe space, a lighthouse, a reminder of what's possible. You don't have to say the right thing, wear the right thing, or do what everyone else is doing. In energetic leadership, your aura becomes the message. Your stillness speaks. Your peace calms. Your courage activates. Your authenticity inspires. And you don't do this by being perfect. You do this by being honest. When you own your journey, your wounds, your breakthroughs, and your wisdom without shame, your energy begins to radiate in a way that others can feel. That's real influence. That's real leadership. Energetic leadership also means learning how to hold space. Not just for others, but for yourself. It means not collapsing in the face of discomfort. It means feeling your triggers and transforming them. It means knowing how to protect your peace while remaining open-hearted. It's about showing others, through your example, that it is safe to rise, safe to evolve, safe to live from their soul. You become a walking permission slip for others to step into their own power, not because you told them to, but because you've shown them it can be done. Raising your vibration doesn't mean pretending to be positive all the time. It means choosing alignment over reaction. It means choosing growth over stagnation. It means moving from survival energy to creator energy, from fear-based decisions to soul-led intentions. And as you make these shifts within yourself, you begin to lead in a way that uplifts others just by being in your presence. You're no longer drained by the world. You begin to uplift the world. In this new paradigm, the most powerful leaders are not the loudest or the most followed. They are the most embodied. The ones who have done the work to raise their own frequency and now walk as examples of what is possible. They don't seek followers, they awaken leaders. They don't lead from ego, they lead from essence. And they don't push others forward, they hold a vibration so high that others rise naturally. Your energy is your legacy. Long after your words are forgotten, people will remember how you made them feel. They will remember the peace, the power, the clarity they felt in your presence. That's what matters. That's what lives on. So if you want to create change, if you want to lead, start with your energy. Clean it, elevate it, ground it. Let it reflect your truth, your vision, and your values. Let it be your leadership, because in this age, energy is everything. And those who master their frequency become the mentors, the healers, and the leaders the world truly needs. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Your expansion starts now with your choice. This is one of the most powerful realizations you can embrace on your journey to transformation. The illusion that you need more time, more clarity, more money, or more support is just a delay tactic fueled by fear. It's your mind trying to protect you from change, from risk, from vulnerability. But growth doesn't wait for comfort. It demands courage. It demands a decision, a commitment to become the version of yourself that already exists in your highest vision. The moment you stop postponing your expansion and decide to embody it now, you shift your entire frequency, and that shift is what calls in your next level. Most people live in a state of almost ready, almost confident, almost healed. They wait for a perfect moment that never comes because perfection is an illusion. Life is never going to pause and present you with ideal conditions where everything aligns perfectly without challenge. Expansion isn't granted, it's claimed. It's activated the moment you say yes to yourself, not when the world gives you permission. And that yes must be rooted in the belief that you are already enough, already capable, already worthy of rising. What holds people back most is not lack of skill or opportunity, it's hesitation. The belief that they must fix one more thing before they can step into their power. But transformation doesn't work that way. It happens in the now. Right here. Right where you are with what you have. When you decide to move forward despite fear, you send a message to the universe that you're ready. And the universe responds not to your hesitation, but to your embodiment, to your energy, to your action. Even the smallest step taken in alignment is more powerful than years of overthinking. Your aura begins to expand the moment you stop waiting and start living like the future version of yourself now. Speak how they would speak, walk how they would walk, think how they would think, show up how they would show up. This isn't pretending, this is activating. It's becoming. The truth is that future version of you isn't in some distant timeline. They are already inside of you waiting to be claimed. Every moment you choose courage over comfort, action over delay, faith over fear, you bring that version to life. You don't need a sign. You don't need outside validation. You are the sign. You are the signal. The moment you decide to rise, everything begins to rearrange around that decision. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable. Yes, it will stretch you, but that discomfort is not a punishment. It's confirmation that you're growing, that you're no longer living on autopilot, that you're creating a new reality from a new vibration. The most successful transformations always begin with a single decision. I'm done waiting. I'm done doubting. I'm done holding back. This is the moment I choose myself. And from that moment, momentum builds, not because the road is suddenly easy, but because you are aligned. Because your energy is no longer scattered by indecision. Because your soul has been given the signal to lead. You can keep preparing, or you can begin. You can keep hoping, or you can start embodying. Every second you delay is a second you could be growing, expanding, evolving. The life you want isn't on the other side of more time, it's on the other side of a decision. So let this be your moment. Step into it, breathe into it, own it. Your expansion isn't waiting on a perfect plan, it's waiting on a powerful yes. And that yes begins with you, here and now.
Your journey is your message. Your aura carries your legacy. Every experience you've endured, every breakthrough you've achieved, every setback, every triumph, every moment of silence, every act of courage, it's all woven into the frequency of your being. Your energy doesn't just reflect what you do today, it carries the weight and wisdom of everything you've overcome. You are not just living a life, you are building an energetic legacy, and your aura holds all of it. It radiates your story. It broadcasts your truth. Long before someone knows your name, they feel your presence. That presence is your essence, made visible through energy, and it is far more powerful than anything you can say or show.
People remember how you made them feel more than what you ever said to them. They might forget your words, but they will never forget your energy. That is because your aura speaks on your behalf. It carries the lessons you've integrated, the healing you've allowed, the truth you've accepted, and the love you've chosen to embody. And the more consciously you walk your journey, the more impactful your aura becomes. Your story becomes a frequency. Your evolution becomes a message. You no longer need to try to inspire others. You simply live, and your life does the speaking. You don't need a platform to influence lives. You don't need a title to be a mentor. You don't need recognition to matter. The way you move through the world, the way you respond to challenges, the way you love, forgive, rise, and lead, all of it shapes your energetic legacy. Every choice you make to show up authentically adds to the power of your presence. Every time you refuse to shrink or betray your truth, your aura expands. It becomes not just something that represents you, it becomes something that transmits you. This is why healing matters. This is why alignment matters. Because the more you clear your energy, the more radiant your aura becomes. And the more radiant your aura becomes, the more your life becomes a light for others. Your personal journey becomes a transmission. It becomes an invitation for others to heal, grow, and expand as well. You're not just changing your life, you're shifting the field around you, and that field is what people feel. That field is your legacy in motion. Your journey matters not just because of where it leads you, but because of who you become along the way. That becoming leaves an imprint. Your resilience imprints strength into the world. Your compassion imprints healing. Your courage imprints permission. Your love imprints transformation. These are not abstract concepts. They are frequencies you hold and frequencies you leave behind. And when people step into your presence, they don't just feel a person, they feel a field, a story, a vibration that speaks to something deep within them. That is what legacy truly is. Legacy isn't just what you leave behind after you're gone. It's what you radiate while you're here. It's the energetic fingerprint you leave on every soul you encounter. It's the ripple effect of your inner work. And the beauty of this is that you don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to be finished. You just need to be honest. Be present. Be willing to walk your path with integrity. That alone carries more impact than 1,000 words ever could. So trust your journey, even the parts that felt chaotic or painful. Nothing is wasted. Every chapter adds to the message. Every tear has meaning. Every rise becomes a beacon. You are not here just to live. You are here to imprint. Your aura is your legacy, and every day you have the power to decide what kind of energy you will leave in your wake. Let it be light. Let it be truth. Let it be love. Let it be you. Fully expressed, unapologetically alive, and courageously radiant. That is a legacy the world will never forget.